Welcome to Bald Guy DIY. If you're bored with nothing to do, maybe because of quarantine, maybe just because nothing's going on in your life, I've got a challenge for you today to snap you out of it and get you focused. We're in a very uncertain time right now, and it feels like every day there's another rule or regulation that limits what we can do outside with our time as this virus sweeps the world and everything's shutting down in order to prevent it from getting a lot worse. Now, I'm definitely going to encourage you to follow the rules and things that are out there. Just because we can't do a lot outside right now or go many different places doesn't mean that we can't be active, using our minds, and using this time as a personal development period in order to come out of the whole thing stronger with more knowledge, skills, and abilities than ever before. Today I'm going to give you a simple 3-part challenge to snap you out of that boredom and focus you on something you can do to make good use of the time. Learn something, try something, and make something. So the first step in this challenge is learn something. And there's that old saying, of course, that says you learn something new every day. But in all honesty, for a lot of us, as we go through our routine, we're not really learning much. Figuring out what our friends are up to on Facebook or browsing what the latest tweet is of somebody we're following is not really learning or developing. But the good news is there's tons of information available, more than ever before in history, for us to actually learn something new. Maybe you have a book that you've been wanting to read, not just fiction to occupy your mind and give you a little entertainment, but something to stimulate your mind and to cause you to learn something new or see the world in a different way. One of my favorite books recently is one called Atomic Habits, and it really has given me a lot of new things to incorporate in my life. I've been following the steps in the book ever since October, and my daily habits that I've put in place, I've now maintained for 5 months. That feels really amazing, and it really is helping me to get a lot more things accomplished than I used to focus my time and energy, and to really be able to narrow down the things I need to get done every day. It's about 1% changes that you can do every day that will make you better, faster, smarter than you've ever been before after only a few days, weeks, and months with steady progress. There are tons of other resources out there. It doesn't just have to be books. There's so many tutorials online on how to make things, explaining how topics work. Things like Khan's Academy, which is a great resource for learning and education. So many TED Talks, which are really fascinating and also give you a greater understanding of science and technology and the way that our minds work and explore. One of my favorite books on that subject is also called Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. I highly recommend it. It's quite an in-depth read, but it really shows you how our minds work and process things, and also some of the shortcuts we take that disrupt our motivation or cause us to make bad decisions. So if you haven't read that one and you're interested in something that's a good deep read, that's one I recommend. Also, there's so many other kinds of books that you could be reading. Learn about somebody that you've admired and seen from afar, but get a close-up view of their lives and understand what really made them tick and what were the secrets to their success. There's so many things. Once you get started, it's kind of an endless cycle. Learning, adding to your knowledge and understanding, and then being able to apply that knowledge in the next step of this challenge. Of course, there's YouTube, which you're watching this video on right now, but there are a lot of other things on YouTube besides just entertainment, cat videos, and the like. There are so many different things, limitless things really, for you to be able to learn and understand by watching YouTube videos. Of course, we need to remember the source. Not everybody on YouTube is an expert, just like me. I'm just a guy who likes to make things. But take that information, balance it out with some perspective, and learn something new to challenge yourself and come out with a greater understanding and knowledge than you've ever had before. The second thing I'd like to share with you is to try something new. Learn something new, then try something new. Now, often when we embark upon DIY type projects, we're thinking about the end result. We're trying to get the project done, whatever it is we have need of, and we're really focused on the end result. We might have an idea of the materials that we want to use and the techniques we want to try, the skills we need, the tools we need, and we really lose sight of the experimentation and discovery that makes a lot of those DIY projects a lot more satisfying. If you don't have a lot to do right now, the perfect thing to do is try out some new techniques. Explore, use your tools. Maybe they've gotten a little dusty in the shop, or you haven't had a chance to try that new one or take it out of the package yet. Now is the time to explore and experiment and use techniques and approaches that you haven't tried before. Browse social media to get ideas, but then actually try them out. See what works and what doesn't, what interests you and what doesn't, what takes a lot of effort and what looks great without it. And don't be afraid to fail. You're not trying to get a project finished, you're just seeing what you can learn and try out and discover along the way. There are a few things lately that I've checked out that look really cool, but I haven't had time to play with them and try them out. This is a great time to put those things to work and just see what happens. Maybe it'll be a big fail, maybe it'll be a big mess, but it should be a lot of fun either way. One of the things that I've looked at lately is painting with acrylics and just pouring different colors together and using different techniques to apply them to a canvas, just moving them all around and see what kind of random patterns are created. Of course, you can drag string through them or chains or many different things in order to get something unique and interesting. Another thing that I've looked at is things you can do with spray painting, and I'm going to try out a wall in my studio soon in order to try out some of the techniques that I've seen online. Here's a couple of links for you to check out. There are so many things you can try, some with tools and equipment and materials that you've used before, some with materials you've never thought of using. I've even seen before someone painting with ketchup, so if you can do that and you still have ketchup, then you can really do almost anything. Try something out, even if it's terrible, throw it away and be better off for the experience. The third part of my challenge to you is to make something. Now, learning something, trying something, those are great when you don't have anything to do, but they can sometimes be dissatisfying because they don't necessarily lead somewhere. That's where making something comes in. It might seem like it takes a lot of effort and maybe it isn't something that seems particularly meaningful right now, but making something and holding that physical project in your hand is a great way to experience fulfillment when there's a lot of other things that aren't very satisfying right now. So put those skills and knowledge that you have to work. Create something with your hands, whether that's something out of wood or 3D printing, metal, whatever your passion is, whatever tools and materials you have handy. You don't have to necessarily go to the store and find something new or spend a bunch of money, but just make something. Sit down and write a story or paint a picture or anything like that to just create something that you can be satisfied in the accomplishment. In times where we feel like we've wasted the time or just let it to be eaten up with things that are important, we can feel more discouraged and lethargic day after day after day. But turning that around by actually making something and accomplishing something and holding that finished product, it really does boost your mood, increase your excitement to try the next thing, and it gives you that great sense of accomplishment, even if it's something small. Hey, I remember the first time I made an LED blink with an Arduino. It felt so exciting to think, I made that happen. And really, there are so many ways that you can turn your attention. There's robotics kits, there's electronics, there's coding, there's so many things. Vinyl creation, woodworking, metalworking, welding, whatever you've got at your disposal, put it to work, create something, and use your imagination. It will feel great. That's my 3-part challenge to you. Learn something, try something, and make something. When you engage your imagination and express your creativity, you never know what kind of exciting thing you're going to make or what new skills or knowledge you're going to develop that'll help you in all of your projects and endeavors down the road. So I hope this inspires you to do a little more with your time or focus your energies on something that can be constructive and meaningful and helpful to you in a time where there's not a lot going on. I know myself, I've been feeling a little demotivated lately as you get told time and time again the things you're not able to do, but we can really focus on the things we are able to do and make good use of the time where we can look back and be proud of what we did and what we've accomplished as we add new abilities, skills, and knowledge every step of the way. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel, check back weekly as I post a new video every Saturday, and let me know in the comments if you've tried this challenge out. What have you learned? What have you tried? And what have you made? Until next time, in all your DIY projects, in the downtime and in the busy time, don't be afraid to be bolder.